Here's a line where we are the cutoff, and we, of course, check the flop. Check. We're gonna check the flop 100% of the time. Of course, because this is the three better, and we're going to. He's going to check back with the king, or no, excuse me. He bets with the king 10, right? And of course, here's a spot I think a lot of people will want to check raise, or me, especially. I used to always check raise these because I think you know, I'm winning all the time, right? Or I would even just like jam on you here. But that's gonna I think, well, it's not optimal, right? It may actually be optimal against some people like exploitatively, but optimal is to call, because I think the reasoning is that we have showdown with our six, so we don't really need to turn our hand into a bluff, and it's just strengthening our checking range, right? Because like he can't blow us off of this hand, right? So this just is another hand in our checking range that does it doesn't allow him to just attack relentlessly, right? Because we'll never fold. Um, so he can't just start betting his air when we check. So like it's important to have these kind of hands in your checking range. So if we just always like bet or jam them, like first of all we don't trap, and then we have a weaker checking range. So we check, and the line, it looks like it's checked back, right? So now this river and this run out pretty much is like really good for you, right? And we're about to put his king 10 in a blender um by betting close to pot, right? But I want to show you how we would deal with like our hands that didn't make it, right? But we're thinking like, well, we'll have bluffs here, right? Because the board run out is a lot more favorable for the caller than it is uh the three better. I'm pretty sure. Let's look at the ranges. Okay, so yeah, the cutoff is actually doing a lot better than the button. So I'm right. Best hands. We have the best hands. We have the good hands, right? He has way more weak hands and trash hands. So like if we got here with like, let's look at our entire range, right? So the cutoff's range is gonna be, let's look at just the range. It's gonna be like nines, eights. Um, these called on the flop, right? Um, and then check the turn, and the turn check through. So, ace, king, queen, king, queen, ace, jack. These are all. This is all ace high type shit. King 10, king jack. King 10 is a pair. These are. This is king high. Let's do the filters. So I'm gonna filter and see. Um, like, let's look at our value first. So we have flushes. We have a lot of flushes, right? And these bet, and then they mix in a little bit of check. Jack 10 is checking pure, I guess. I mean, it's a trap, right? So we trap with our flushes. We bet our straights and our sets pure. Betting our two pair doing a little bit of trapping. Or maybe let's see. It might even check because it's kind of dominated by other two pairs that might call. Then we have like it seems like we don't have any overpair. Oh yeah, we have no overpair. So you're kind of seeing like this is where the advantage is really like. So he has the button has flushes, right? But the button doesn't have very well. It looks like we're beating him down here, right? He doesn't really 3-bet these hands a lot. Okay, he doesn't really have this shit either. This is like really out of, like he doesn't have very much of this. The only thing he has is he has Queen 9, which it looks like we actually don't have. And then he has King 8 suited, which we don't have. Interesting. Top pair is kind of we have a little bit more top pair with the King Queen suited. Second pair, okay. So the only thing like not betting, okay. So as soon as we get, like you can see like this is like a super polarized range where it's like you can tell the range is really good for us because like all of our junk starts bluffing, bro. Like there's nothing that doesn't have showdown that doesn't bluff. But it looks like we don't even have very much bullshit, right? Well, we don't have any no-made hand. That's crazy. So everything got there, bro. So, okay. Yeah, we don't have anything that's nothing. Like, our closest thing to nothing is ace high. So what are we doing, like, ace high, low pair, third pair. Okay, I guess because of the fact that we don't have shit, we have to start bluffing with, like, these hands, right? Ace 9, ace jack, 6-5. I mean, is this right, bro? Sounds crazy. Yeah, this is right, bro. So there's like no equity, which is 16% of the range. That's just 6-5, ace 9. Okay, this is like super trash. Like if you had this shit, you would still bet. So this is how we're like, because it's really hard for him to call with that king 10, right? But let's look. Okay, yeah, if we had to bluff with the low pairs and shit. Wait, where did... Okay, 9s are a set. 6s are a set. Do we have any like 8s and shit in our range? Okay, we do have 8s. Why are 8s in like our best hands? Did that hit us straight? Okay, yeah. So 8s are straight now, bro. So like really, yeah, everything got there, bro. So that means, yeah, that are no, like if you have absolute trash, you're just gonna bet. Which probably everyone knows that already. But I was hoping that there would be like a demonstration of like the blocker effect. Okay, yeah. So our ace, this is where you would use your ace blocker. Then these hands give up. These are your ace queen offsuit, king high offsuit, and then it's mixing in and then like you don't get here with the offsuit version of these, so you're betting on just you're using your blocker, right? This is pretty like anybody who knows anything about a polarized range is gonna see this shit anyway, right? Okay, here's 4s. So like your 4s, which you don't get here very often, right? uh and they bet when they have the spade. You're only going to get here with 4s with the spade, right? I guess they were the only ones they called on the flop. right? And then they checked the turn. And then probably if he would have bet again, we would have had to fold that he didn't, right? He didn't barrel the turn. So we got to the river with this, and now we're looking at absolutely no showdown, but we blocked the flush, and it bets, right? All right. We'll just keep going. Fold. 100% raise. Okay, I don't remember the line here. So let's see. We called a bet. All right, we called. We checked. Very small C bet. Call. And now it's our turn. And then of course I think we check again, right? I think we might not ever lead there. This board. Now it goes check check. Do we block bet, bro? I could see us putting in like a little tiny bet here. But let's just check. Yeah. Now we're put in a tough spot. I think that we could fold. Yeah, we'd just fold, bro. Alright, so we played that perfect. I think on the river you could, yeah. There's a little small amount of a block bet there. But not very often. All in, of course. Let's see. Let's keep going. Here's a random number generator that I made with Claude. I just told Claude to program me a random number generator that I can use when, like it floats around, but it's always on top. And, if anybody wants this thing, just let me know. I'll give it to you. It's just a little simple program. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I want to make it to where it changes colors. But I can use this when I play, and I think it would make you a little bit harder to play against, right? Or it just helps you to not, because we are, even though like I train GTO and shit, like I'm biased, right, in my decision making, of course, like any human. So like this helps you not be biased, so much, so that you're not. Because I mean, of course, you can keep yourself from doing like one thing, like all of the time, but over time, you're gonna lean in one direction naturally, right? So this could help not do that so much. I don't think it really matters at low stakes. All right, let's keep going. Queen Jack. Do we ever 3-bet this? Yeah. 10-9 is fold always. So like I'm just going through here. I'm trying to because I study a lot of out of position 3-bets. I study all the 3-bets like versus the button here because people this spot right here is just I don't use it as much. I don't know because it doesn't. I think people fight back pretty well in this spot. So when people fight back in well, I don't like abuse that spot, right? But I can really abuse like big blind and straddle versus button and cut off 3-bets. So I tend to study that more, but I want to not be like slacking in any area, right? All right, so we obviously 3-bet, and I think this is gonna be a bet all the time type of deal. He snap folds. Well, he's a robot, so he always snap decisions. This is difficult, bro. I think we call. Oh wow. Like in rakeless game, that would have always been a call. So I think that's our first mistake, bro. I have the rake on 100 NL rake, and this is actually like a little bit nicer. Because Club WPT Gold, they actually like put their rake back up a notch. Can we ever 3-bet fours, bro? I think no. Well, oh wow. Okay, so 3-betting the fours is actually what it wanted to do, or did it want to like fold, bro? I don't think we can fold here. Yeah, we have this gut shot which just hit. That is like fucking awesome, right? Like I would have loved this in game, but he just had a bluff. Preflop, okay, you can fold fours. Um, in a high rate environment. Uh, does Ace Jack ever call? Okay, rarely. Like if you have the rake turned off, like all these hands like call a lot more. I think we want to four bet a lot here. Yeah, you want to four bet this hand like 66% of the time. Probably not in game. If you're playing against somebody who only like three bets aces and kings and shit, and like ace king and ace queen, like you can just fold this hand, bro. You don't even need to like four bet bluff with it because they'll like this happens and then you just end up folding. So like I would just cut that pretty much out unless somebody like started. I noticed that they were three betting me a lot. Then I would turn that on. Um, which I don't. Yeah, just 100% call. So like this is the bottom of the calling range. I think. Well, no, it would go down to like 6-5 and shit like that. Check, fold. This like never four bets. I don't think or calls. Yeah. I don't think. Ooh, yeah. We want to lead there. I'm just gonna fold. I hate when I make a mistake, bro. Well, I didn't make a mistake, but like there was a lot of leading here. I didn't. The line went check check on the flop. I think. Yeah. So when the line goes check check, then we want to lead the boards that are like good for us with a small bet here. Especially like with this type of hand where it's low showdown. But I mean, you don't have to. It's not mandatory. This is gonna be mandatory like four bet in GTO land. And we call it off. Like I got bad here because you could actually just jam your ace queen versus the button cutoff. I mean, button versus the button three bet. You can just jam ace queen, and this doesn't happen in regular six max, right? This is specific to the straddle ante game. That can be three bet sometimes. These are like why like three bets are nutted because people like miss like these three bets right here, like ace 10 off and king 5 suited and queen 8, king 8 and king 5, king 6 type shit. Like they won't have it. Oh wow, I didn't see that we rolled a 90 there. Should we just go all in? I think we can call. Yeah, we can just call it or shove there. I'm gonna go all in here. Yeah. Brutal. Brutal. Okay, here, I forget, bro. I think we call pure. Okay, yeah, damn near. And like, okay, paired board. So if he checks here, we check and he checks back, I think we can lead, but maybe not with king high. This hand has a. Oh wow, we could fucking lead the flop, bro. Call. Wow, this is getting dicey. Check. Oh no. I think we have. Bro, I don't know. I think we have too much shit. Ah! Damn it. Yeah, this is a bet. Okay, so it's pretty much a range bet, bro. That's the thing, like, cause your range is so tight. It doesn't matter that this has like. It's not like you have a whole bunch of other hands worse than this in your range to bluff with. That's the difference between like in a single raise pot you would check this all day, but not in three bet. Let's continue. I'll try to keep that in mind. Ace Jack. Now I would four bet this sometimes, but no, it doesn't like that at all. It was a fold, or you can call like a third of the time. And then versus like the nutted three bet range, I would just fold all the time, right? King 10, we can bet this. All right, so this is another 3-bet that like people will miss. And then I just get out of there when I get 4-bet. I think people like don't like to 3-bet shit like this because they don't know what to do when they get 4-bet. It's like the psychological thing is like, okay, well, like I was trying to make extra profit with this hand, like as an exploit, and now I got 4-bet. So now if I fold it, then I lose and it makes it unprofitable. But like, no, you just fold it in that spot, bro. And then the next time, like, you would only stop 3-betting it if you got 4-bet every single fucking time that you did it. Like, they could see your cards or something, right? Then you would stop doing it. But most of the time, people are not, because they're not going to 4-bet shit like this. They're just going to flat call. And then you get to realize your equity in position. If they were doing it enough, you could even start 3-betting like all kinds of shit. But like people are missing like these 3-bets too. A lot of people will just 3-bet like only shit that is like super nutted. I think this is like one of your best call hands. Yeah, you never want to 4-bet this. When this goes check check, should we? But we lead so huge. I'm gonna do it. Hell yeah, yeah, we're supposed to do it. And then all in. Surely not, bro. I don't know. This is hard, bro. I think we don't care. Yeah, we don't care about the flush because of the fact that there's only a pot bet left anyway. Jack 9, I believe, can fold. Yeah, it's actually mandatory fold. Uh, we get check raised here, and I'm not sure if letting it go is too loose. I mean, too tight, but I'm gonna try it. No, it's a mix. We got about 10 hands left. Jack 10 is gonna be a fold. Sixes, I'm gonna call. Yeah, 100% call. Uh, so most of the time, like when you're in position in a 3-bet pot, the like just bet, bro. If you like even feel like you can, because in position like it just applies pressure over like you don't have to bet huge, like just apply pressure over multiple streets and you'll get everything that isn't value to fold. uh so like you'll be able to fold out a lot of stuff that beats you with like junk hands. Something went wrong. King 9, I'm gonna 3-bet. All right, so we flop really good here. I want to say we should lead because this is going to be checked so many times, but we roll a 91. So I'll check it this time. Yeah, but see, it only checks like 20%, 15, checks 16%. Um, because of the fact that he's going to check back so much that we want to just start like building a pot ourselves. Um, yeah. So let's like repeat this one. Um, bam. Now we roll an 11. And so we just start build like on 654 and when you can lead all the time, right? Um, it wanted to put it in the bet check line too, like as a trap. That's actually a really, let's see if it works here. You can do it on the river too, but on the river he just checks back. I think that's a really good strategy, like to do on the turn. Let's play from here, right? Is to check here, and now you hit them with the check raise, and they yeah, of course they get out of there. But that I like this play the best with this hand. Like I would even suggest doing that like 100% of the time. Like bet the flop. They're gonna think you're bluffing because you see 654. Then you can check the turn and they'll bet their air, and you can check raise or call whatever. King 10 is going to be a 3-bet. 3-bet. We'll check. Even though like Ace King is our board, right? Queen 10, I think is going to be too loose. I mean, not there's a 10% 3-bet, but like yeah, for the too loose for our number that we rolled. We roll a 90, and I like the idea of putting this in the. Oh wow, no, you're not supposed to check there. Oh, I guess it's a range bet, bro. Small betting on the turn like that is interesting. Should we check back or go all in? I think we would check back. Yeah, because all in it seems a bit excessive for King 10. All right, and so that's it, bro. That's our cutoff versus button masterclass, bro. Let's 4-bet this. And then we'll check back since we rolled a 99. This is going to be a probably, yeah, 100% bet. Like this is the most overbluffed spot in poker. Literally, when you see somebody bet this, bro, you can fight back like that. But it's not a range bet. Um, it's there's a lot of bluffing, but it's only half the well, like 60% of the range is betting. So I think you would cut out probably hands. Yeah, it just cuts out. It's selective with the king high and no made hand, and it probably is choosing like hearts, right? Let's see if that holds up. Um, so if we had ace queen, well, that would be no. Well, like what is? Oh yeah, that's not a bluff. So if we go to king high and no made hand, right? Well, no, it's betting pure with these hands that are just junk. Here you can see a little bit of the king with the hearts is betting more. Um, yeah, but it doesn't really prefer hearts. To be honest, it's just there it prefers hearts. So like super low showdown shit maybe, but Jack 9 is just getting in there with anything. Well, I guess in this spot you would just, I mean, you would just mix it like depending on this person. Like if they fold a lot here, then just bet everything. If they don't, then mix it up, check more. But I think pretty much everyone is gonna overfold in this spot, right? like so I would just say bet everything. Call. Now we checked and I think he checked back. Yeah, of course. So oh damn, that was our second only mistake, bub. Alright, so we only got 2 wrong out of this whole thing. This is a really exceptional EV loss for this is like single race pot EV loss, right? This is a really high score. So like I guess even though I haven't focused on this, like it's pretty easy for me. Um just studying like 3-bet pots and using what I know from the other 3-bet pots pretty much works um across the board, right? I wish we didn't make these 2 mistakes, but hey, like I'm gonna make some mistakes, right? This is like if I could get this score on the other 3-bet pots, I would be extremely happy. So it seems to me that these 3-bet pots are easier than when you're out of position, small blind versus button or straddle versus button. I would get like this would be like a 70 and I would be happy. So that's all.